Well, howdy there, folks, and welcome into today's video. Hope you guys are doing great out there as always. Oh my gosh, guys, this is a rare video here today. A rare video. I'm going to tell you about some call options I'm thinking about buying. 4 different stocks out there, all right? A few of these stocks might come as surprises to you guys. 1 or 2 of these stocks you guys should probably know if you watch a lot of my content overall. And we're going to kind of go through some strike prices and things like that on what I'm thinking about doing. Now, first off, I don't make a ton of option moves out there in the market. I am mainly focused on buying companies I believe in tremendously over the next 3-5 years, looking at the valuation, looking at the financials, looking at the management team, looking at the business model, buying those companies and thriving over time, right? So I don't do a ton of option moves. However, I'm starting to challenge myself. So in the private stock group, we actually just started a options only account. So now in this particular account, all I can make in there is options moves, and we're going to see how it grows over time and how I do as somebody that is an options investor. And I call myself an options investor, even though, most of the time you're kind of more doing like options trading. I'm not really looking at doing short-term things. For the most part, the option contracts I'm looking to buy are over 1 year out. And some of these we're going to go through today are actually even more than 2 years out, okay? Which if you're looking at the date, you're saying probably, how the heck are you getting options over 2 years out when it's already April? And I'll show you that here today as well. So hope you guys enjoy this video. As always, all I ask is that you guys smash that thumbs up. That is literally all I ask. I appreciate it. Some people take it for granted. I appreciate it, guys. It means a lot to me in the end, okay? It helps us out huge in the YouTube algorithm, and I appreciate you guys. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, by the way, hit subscribe. We're going to probably hit 100,000 subscribers within the next, I don't know, maybe the next month or so. So, yeah, if you want to be in that first 100K club, definitely hit that subscribe button, okay? You want to talk about value? Check out the pinned comment. Absolutely free to watch it. Beatrice just did an amazing job looking at Tesla, looking at the company. She's a certified CPA, and she just did an amazing job. So it's absolutely free. You want to check out something free for just over an hour and just straight value, check out the pinned comment. It is unreal. Alrighty, guys, let's get into this. So this first stock, by the way, you guys should know this stock. If you watch a ton of my videos, you should know the first stock. Other ones might be a little out there, but this first one, you should know this, okay? Tattooed Chef, TTCF. I think, anybody that watches my videos, you guys should know this stock had to be featured as one of these 4 stocks. There was no way I was going to do a list of 4 stocks I'm looking to buy call options on without including this stock, okay? Obviously, I'm a huge believer in this company over the long term, all right? And even potentially, I've even said that I think the stock could start moving as early as this summer. So even with me making statements like that, I have to be a little bit of a believer in the short term as well, right? So I just started buying some options in Tattooed Chef. Basically, my strategy is if this stock goes into the 15s or below, options, okay? I now am at a place where I have as many shares as I could possibly want. I have over 50,000 shares if I add up all my different accounts, okay? So I have over 50,000 shares of Tattooed Chef. So now I'm at a place where if this goes to $15 or below, I buy some options. The other day, a few days ago, it was trading in the 15s. So I went ahead and I bought some options, okay? Now I'm looking for longer term out options, and the longest term out I can get in TTCF right now is January of 2023. So a little less than 2 years out, obviously, right? And I'm looking at some different strikes. So I'm even looking at potentially $10 strikes. And by the way, like I said, if this goes back to the 15s or dare I say 14s somehow, I will gladly be a buyer of these options because they'll be even cheaper, okay? I'm looking at $10 strikes and have to pay, let's say around $9. So that puts me at $19 break even, right? Stock's at 17 right now. I mean, if I had to put a guess, I think the stock price will be anywhere from worst case scenario, probably $30 a share in January 2023 to potentially $70 a share in January 2023, okay? So, obviously there's a lot of puts and takes there. It's how much does the market believe in it as this story grows and the company continues to grow, and then it starts to get a following on Wall Street, which right now, it doesn't really have a following on Wall Street. Tattoo Chef has a big following in the retail investor community, like us folks, okay? But I can tell you this does not have a big following on Wall Street yet. It's a small market cap, a little over $1 billion, right? And somewhat newer company to the public markets. They've only been in the public markets for probably 9 months now, roughly, somewhere around there. Yeah, they haven't even been public for a year now. So they're somewhat new. So, when I look at this, I'm saying this is a story that's going to likely, I feel like this is a perfect candidate for Wall Street to jump all over, as this company continues to grow. This year, they should do well over $200 million in revenue. Next year, likely, I could see them pushing 350, maybe $400 million of revenue. And that's the type of scale that Wall Street's going to start looking at with the type of growth rates they have and saying, oh my gosh. And you start seeing in all the stores, they're going to say, they're going to jump on it, in my opinion, okay? And so I'm looking at something like $10 strikes. I'm also looking at something like, even like $20 strikes. So going out there quite a bit, right? Got to pay around $5 for that, so that puts you at about $25. But then every $5 up after that, I basically, get my initial, so let's say I buy $10,000 worth of call options at a $20 strike, pay $5 premium for it. Cool. All right, 25 is my break even. Now 30, I get my principal back plus another $10,000, another $5 up, another $10,000, another $5 up, another $10,000. So that's where things get really, really beautiful when it comes to some of these call option plays. Obviously, downside risk is that, the stock is just, I don't know, an $8 stock or whatever in 2023. That would mean the company just failed across the board. Like, I don't know what would have to happen for the company just to mess up that bad. It would just have to be, like, completely misrun, like, horrible. Sam Galetti's been the food industry for a long, long time leading this company. I don't think he's going to mess this whole thing up. The whole team there, Stephanie has a lot of experience in the food industry. Sarah has learned right under her father. When I look at the team there, I have very little doubt that they're going to mess this whole thing up. And as long as they execute, huge opportunity in front of this company. So yeah, that's the first one of the bunch. Like I said, I think everybody that really follows my content closely knew this one had to be featured in here somewhere, okay? Let's get into the second one up here of these ones, and that's Palantir, all right? So Palantir, I don't own the stock yet. But I got to say, if this stock continues to drop, I'm actually potentially interested in some 2023 call options in this stock, all right? Especially if the stock falls under $20, okay? If it falls under $20, that's when I really, really start to get intrigued, okay? The interesting thing about Palantir is Wall Street doesn't really know how to value this stock right now, right? Coinbase, same exact thing. Coinbase is even on another level, okay? That's not one of the stocks featured today, but that stock just comes to mind when I think about a stock. That Wall Street is like, how the heck do we value this thing? I feel like Palantir is definitely in that category of really confusing. Wall Street's really confused on how to value this. If we just got a little more of a sell-off, its stock could be under $20. And if it's under 20, that's where I really start to get intrigued about potentially buying the stock, but also about potentially buying some call options in the stock in 2023, okay? And, figuring maybe this can kind of get heated up, okay? So if we look at something like a $10 strike on the stock, got to pay like $14 and some change. So that puts our break even around, a little over $24 here. The stock's at like 23 today, okay? So, I mean, as long as Palantir is not in the dumpster come January 2023, I mean, those are options that will likely be profitable and maybe potentially very profitable. It really depends on how Palantir executes over the next few years. And when it comes to Palantir, it's not just about executing on the business model. This one is also a story about executing on getting Wall Street to understand the story. How much true TAM is here, the total addressable market, what the potential profitability can be for this business model long term. That's a huge component of this. If they don't do that well, even if their numbers are super strong, Wall Street still might not get it, right? But I can tell you these type of businesses, they, usually trade at huge valuations, like some of the biggest you'll ever see. Like any type of like SaaS related businesses, business to business type businesses where it's software related, they usually sell crazy high valuations. And this company's at the intersection of data and artificial intelligence. And in helping businesses, obviously in the past, they've really been all about helping governments, basically have better access to their data and understand it better. But now this is becoming a story which is really around business. And so when I look at a stock like Palantir, I say this one does have potential, especially if the stock price continues to fall. I could definitely see myself picking up some $10 strikes. and maybe doing a little play, like maybe I go out and I buy some $20 strikes. But honestly, at right now, I feel more comfortable just doing a $10 strike in the stock if I'm going to buy something, because the premium I have to pay for $20 strikes is almost $10. Right here, I'm at $14, $15, and it's a lot less risk here, right? A lot less risk in my opinion. So that's why I look at something like this. Like, here we're talking like a $30 break even versus like a 24. So we're right around where we're at right now, right? So that's why I potentially could just do something like a $10 strike. And but yeah, we'll see what happens with that one. I'll keep you guys up to date. Like I always say, don't be surprised if you see a video one day that I bought Palantir stock, okay? That's all I'll say about that, okay? This one is not one of the 4 stocks. I got to be honest, this is one of those that if they had 2023 calls, it would be one I was buying, okay? Corsair Gaming. It's unfortunate, man. The furthest out I can get when it comes to Corsair is December 2021. Boo! I mean, it's just, it's disappointing because I would love to buy some $30 strikes in this one, some potentially even $40 strikes, and some probably $20 strikes in this one if I could buy 2023. But yeah, it's unfortunate. There's not that out there for Corsair, so it is what it is. All right, guys. The third stock up here of these 4 stocks is actually Under Armour, ticker symbol UA. This is an interesting one here. So I'm not personally an Under Armour shareholder, and I'm not usually the biggest believer in Under Armour, okay? I actually think, obviously Nike's in a huge position of power versus somebody like an Under Armour. But what I will say about Under Armour, I can see the company thriving over the next couple of years. One of the reasons being is this is a company that obviously sells a ton of things to youth sports, okay? And if you have kids who are playing sports, they're probably getting Nike items or Under Armour items, right? And Under Armour's got pretty strong products when it comes to youth sports. And so when I look at this one and I say, okay, over the past year, a lot of folks have not had their kids in youth sports. Some youth sports leagues still have been going on during the Rona. Some have been canceled, and a lot of parents just at the end of the day didn't want to put their kids in it because they didn't want them to be at risk of, the whole Rona thing, right? And so this is all going to start to come off in the fall time, right? And in my opinion, by fall time, youth sports is going to be back like full go again, okay? And so, and maybe even stronger than ever when it comes to youth sports, because we had this whole kind of period where you didn't have any youth sports. And so now I feel like if anything, parents are really going to want to push youth sports more than ever. And so if I look at a stock like Under Armour, they're going to be in a really, really good position over the next year or two, in my personal opinion, just based upon the fact that there's going to be a ton of things that need to be bought if you're putting your kid in youth sports. Like, I don't know if anybody has kids out there and you ever had to put them in this sport or that sport. You put them in baseball, and next thing you know, you got to buy a bat and a glove and, another glove, and you got to buy them special, shoes, and you got to buy them this outfit and things like that, right? And next thing you know, you're buying all these items. Some of them could be Under Armour, right? You put them in football. Next thing you know, you're getting them football gloves and this and that. Could be Under Armour, right? Cleats, next thing you know, it could be Under Armour, right? So this is a stock I think is in a pretty good position for the next 1 to 2 years. If I'm looking at this one, there's another one I'm probably looking at around $10 strikes. Look at that. I'm paying, $9, maybe $9.50, something like that. Look where the stock's at right now, $19.14. So, if I get this for, let's say, $9.50, somewhere around there roughly, I mean, geez, my break even is basically around where the stock is at right now. Now, obviously, if the stock goes to $30, $40, $50, $60 a share, over the next year or two, if they get really hot and they start moving product, and next thing you know, profitability starts rolling in and the business gets back on the right track, right? Then, I mean, the gains are ridiculous. So this is one I look at specifically at that $10 strike level. If I could get something in the $9 range for premium paid, my gosh, I mean, that's really darn attractive in my opinion when you think about all the things that will be going for this company over the next year or two. And so, yeah, I mean, Under Armour, it's a surprising stock. Not a stock I'm interested in actually owning the actual stock, but I got to say, like, when I look at the strike and the premium I pay there, and I think about all these things that could be going for this company over the next year or two, kind of like, maybe it's worth a flyer here. So, yeah, that's definitely one that's probably catches you guys off guard there. Yeah, I mean, not a stock I ever talk about or anything like that, but definitely one that is a potential, okay? Next one up here, and let me talk about my thought process around this one, is the FB. So when it comes to FB, I actually bought some options in this one today, and I'm going to show you guys them, okay? Remember I told you I got options that are expiring over 2 years from now? That is this one, okay? Look at this. These options don't expire until June of 2023, okay? June of 2023. Sometimes with these huge companies, they'll even have some options that are further out than 2 years from now, okay? And with a lot of other smaller companies, you can sometimes get 2-year out options if you're looking right around like October-ish, because usually the over 2-year out options come out. But usually at this point in the year, almost with all stocks, except a few big ones, you can't usually get anything that's more than 2 years out. But we got them here with FB, okay? I think we're going to do really darn well with this, okay? And I'm going to show you the options I bought, okay? But, I mean, I'm looking at anything from 250 strikes to even like $300 strikes to even 350 strikes. And the way I might go in something like this, like let's say I really wanted to go big with options in Facebook, right? I would probably do like $10,000 in 250s, $10,000 in 300s, $10,000 in 350s, and kind of spread it out. And obviously, you know, if the stock goes up a massive amount, guess what? The 350s are going to pay off the best, right? If, you know, the stock doesn't do that great over the next 2 years or 2+ years, then the 250 strikes let me save some face, right? But let me show you what I bought here, and let me kind of explain why I looked at these and I thought these were a good buy here today, okay? And I could absolutely, if there's any weakness in Facebook stock, like they got earnings in the next week or two, if there's any weakness at all in Facebook stock, I will gladly continue to buy options heavier and heavier in this stock for June of 2023, okay? But what I bought here today, I bought $250 strike price, and I paid premium of $85 on that, okay? So my break even's what? $335 there, right? $335 break even. The stock's at $300-ish right now, right? So I'm in a position here where I would say there's 2% or less than a 2% probability that Facebook is less than $335 in June of 2023. And I would say there's probably over a 70% probability that this stock is between $500 and $750 in June of 2023. And so when I look at it from that context, I'm like, okay, probably less than 2% probability in my opinion based upon all the numbers I've ran for this company. And I'm an investor in this company. I've been following it since literally it went public, so like 100 years, not that long, okay? Maybe 8 years now or something like that, maybe 9 years. I've been following this company forever. I know this company inside and out. I understand kind of the way the business model is changing right now. A lot of the big things are going after that Wall Street's not respecting. They're too far into the whole, just looking at it from a social aspect right now. And so when I look at this one, like I said, less than a 2% probability in my opinion, the stock's under 335 in over 2 years from now. And I would say a 70% plus probability that this stock's, between $500 and $750 in 2 years from now. And so when I look at it from that context, I think it's going to be a huge moneymaker for me. And that's why I will probably buy some more options in this one overall, especially. I don't think it will go down in earnings, but if it does and it goes down to 280, I will gladly buy some more of this. My camera shut me off. That means it's time for me to wrap up, guys. I hope you enjoyed this as always. Much love. If you want to get some crazy value absolutely for free, check out the pinned comment down there. Enjoy that, guys. Much love and peace.